Good morning, I'm Adrienne and welcome to your Happiness Quest Yoga. This is a quick morning Vinyasa flow for beginners to get the body pumping and start your day with enthusiasm and joy. Okay, we'll jump right into it. So I'm going to start facing you just so you can see what I'm doing, but I want you to please stand at the top of your mat facing where the camera if you can. Okay, so first I want your feet hip width apart. Slight bend in your knees so it's comfortable, we're not locking them back down. You want to think about your pelvis tilting slightly forward just to elongate your spine and create a really nice straight line along the back. Now, inhale as we reach our shoulders up towards our ears, and exhale, bringing it slightly back down your back, rotating back, just to bring, feel sort of a more lengthening sensation in the spine. And really lengthening your neck and shoulders and dropping them down. We tend to hunch too much. So dropping down, you can shake it out a little bit, palms facing forward, and just gaze forward, stare into my eyes, relax, think about an intention that you want to set for today. I welcome you to use the intention Ahimsa, which means non-harming in Sanskrit, and this is our first yama of the 5 yamas and the 8 limbs of Vinyasa Yoga. If you're like, what is she talking about? Don't worry, just think Ahimsa, non-harming. So we're gonna have a really nice, relaxing practice. And we're not going to do any harm, and we're not going to have any harm throughout our day. We're going to really enjoy it. It's going to be blissful. Okay, sounds good. All right, so I'm just moved to the front of my mat to join you. So from here, I want you to inhale, reaching your palms above your head to touch, and just if your neck feels comfortable to do so, gazing up at your thumbs. If not, just stare straight ahead, that's fine. And on your next exhale, we're going to dive all the way forward to your depth. If you can, touch your hands to the ground. If you can't, that's fine. Just bend your knees as much as you can to either get there. You can use some blocks or books if you have them around to bring the floor closer to you. Or alternatively, you can rest your elbows on your thighs with your palms in a prayer position. To get that position. Trying to straighten your back here, we're not rounding too much. And now inhale from wherever your position is. So hands touch your thighs or your shins, that's the word I'm looking for. And just gazing forward, flat back, think about elongating the spine. And exhale, forward fold again. And you can drop in, relax your head and neck. If you like, you can grasp your shoulders, elbows. That might be a bit harder, although that might be nice. And inhale, come all the way up. Palms touch above your head again. Gaze up and exhale. Hands through heart center. Arms by your hands. Hands by your body. Tadasana, mountain pose. And we relax here. And we'll do that 2 more times and then we'll move into a bit more flying. So inhale, come all the way up. Palms touch. Gaze up. Exhale, forward fold to wherever your depth is. Inhale, flat back. Gaze forward, hands on your shins. Exhale, forward fold, drop in, relax. And then inhale, coming all the way back up. Palms touching, gaze up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Arms down by your sides, Tadasana. Okay, we're getting the hang of it now. So one more time. Inhale, come all the way up. If you want, you can reach up onto your tippy toes. Exhale, back down onto your heels. And we're diving forward. Forward fold. Exhale, inhale to flat back, gazing forward, really thinking about elongating your spine. Exhaling, forward fold, inhale all the way up. gazing at your thumbs, hands down through heart center, and arms rest down by your sides, Tadasana. So that's our first fun half sun salutations. Okay, so next round here, we're gonna follow the same pattern, but then we're gonna step back and get a bit more movement going. So inhale, come all the way up, palms touch, gaze up towards the ceiling, or to your thumbs, sorry. Exhale, diving down to your depth, knees bending as much as you need to. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, palms plant to the ground. If you need blocks here, that can help, but I would prefer you bend your knees as much as you can to plant. So we're gonna step our right foot back all the way to the back of our mats. So our hands are framing our left foot. And I want you to just drop your knee down here. So your right knee down. So we're really getting this perfect right angle between our ankle and our knee on the left side. That will help support you in this posture. And think about feeling the hip flexor stretching on your right side. So you can stay down here. This is also when you can grab your blocks, are really nice to create more length in the spine and straighten them out. Or if you don't have blocks, that's okay. No worries, we can do it without it. And just drop in, feel your right hip flexor stretching. And we'll just breathe here for another second. And on your next inhale, I want you to tuck your right toes. And we're gonna swing our left foot back all the way to a back of our mat and reach into downward dog. And then inhale, push forward into plank. Drop your knees here again if you need to. And then we're going to exhale, keeping your elbows tucked into your sides. Slowly, 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 all the way down. Forward, head touches the ground. And breathe here for a moment. In through the nose, out through the nose. So your hands should be next to your bra line, really, next to the ribs. And so inhale, we're just going to push up into a baby cobra. So I want your shoulders thinking that they're going back down your spine as well. We're not hunching up. Elbows tucking in. And just pushing your hips down into the mat and your feet into the mat. Inhale, come up. Exhale, down. Forward comes down. And just push back up onto your knees. Tuck your toes. And we'll push back into downward facing dog. Since this is our first real downward dog, make sure you bend your knees a lot. Walk your dog out. So bending one knee, bending the other. Think about dropping your shoulders down, your spine, head, ears between your arms. Keeping it hips moving up so that we're getting like a long straight spine. We're not curling around. And then just bend your knees. For any beginners, you won't believe me, but this is a rest posture, but it will get easier. Okay, right, now we're going to move into our warrior series. So inhale, reaching your right foot up towards the sky, making sure you're keeping even weight in your hands. Bend your knee and stretch out the hip flexor again there one more time. On your next exhale, I want you to bend your knee, try to touch your nose, knee to nose as close as you can, and then plant your knee plant your foot between your hands. Knee can come up here. If it's too much for you, you can go down, and we'll just do like a mini version. But other than that, we're gonna rise all the way up. Twist that back foot out so it's at a 45-degree angle. We're putting a lot of weight in this back line of our body. Knees bending on our right side, so our knees bending over angle. You can be back more, but just don't be forward more, closer to your toes. Okay, so if you're too much for you, hands can come to hips, arms straight out to the sides is our full expression. You want to think about your hips moving forward and squaring off rather than front of the mat to the side of your mat. So keeping a lot of opening in the pelvis. So arms out, straight in line with your shoulders, and gaze out across that middle finger. And we'll just go for 3 breaths here. And on your next inhale, flip your palm so it's facing the ceiling. Straighten your right knee, front knee. Not so it's locked, keep a micro bend in that knee. I like to hop this in a little bit as well, so your stance isn't quite as long. And then you want to think about, actually we might put your hands to hips, is it easier to explain this as well while we're starting. So if you've got your hands on your hips, feet are still 45 degrees angle, right foot is pointing out. If this is uncomfortable as well for you with the heel to arch alignment, just spread out a little bit. You don't, if you've got problems in your hips. I used to have to do that. I'm okay now, but it's really helpful to get into the pose. Okay, so now we're here, straight right leg. We're gonna pop, feel that real pop in your hips back. So we're keeping square, popping that out, making sure that micro bend is still there so we're not hyperextending. And then we're reaching out. So popping your hips back, reaching our torso forward and up. So we're not collapsing over our leg here. Exhale, come all the way down. Your right hand can touch the floor, your shin, your thigh if you need to. If you've got a block, can come either side. That's a really good way to bring the floor up to you. No harm in modifications. And instead we want to really just think about reaching our heart towards the beautiful sun, towards the beautiful new day. We're not collapsing in, we're reaching up and opening a lot here. And just breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. That's great. So on your next inhale, bending that right knee, we're coming back up. I want you to flip both your feet out to the ends of your mat. We're comfortable. We're going to move into goddess pose for a moment. So reaching out, again, trying to get your knees tractioning over those ankles. Drop in as much as you can. You don't have to go as far as me. We're going to start with our palms facing each other. We can rub them together for a little bit extra warmth. And just settle in. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. So bounce it out if you need to. And go as deep as you can. Warm up those legs. Ahimsa, it's a beautiful day. One more breath. And exhale, come up. Reach your palms up to the sky. Get a lot of length, stretch out there. And exhale, come forward. Okay, so we're just going to get out of this and then do everything on the other side. And then you're ready to start your day. Okay, so turning back towards the front of our mat. Bending the front knee. Hands plant. You can choose to move through a full vinyasa here as well. I'll guide you through it. Otherwise, just come down to your knees and take a break. It's a good time to go into child's pose with your bum resting on your ankles. Stretch out that back. Ahimsa, we're not harming ourselves. Don't take the vinyasa if you don't need it. So plank position, knees up or down. Exhale, coming all the way down. Inhale, reaching your head up for cobra pose, for a back bend. Exhale down, pushing up. And downward facing dog, just for a second. If you're in child's pose, please meet us in downward facing dog. And when we're all ready, stepping your right foot forward, since we started on the right leg, and your left foot forward, and forward fold. Inhale, flat back, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, down through heart center. Hands down by your sides, Tadasana. Whew, okay, other side, you can do this. Right, inhale, coming all the way back up, palms touch, gaze to the ceiling if it's in your practice and you don't get any tension in your neck. Exhale, we're diving forward to our forward fold all the way down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, palms touch, plant to the ground. And we're stepping our left foot all the way back. Okay, now we want to drop the knee and inhale, coming all the way up, just to get that stretch on the left side and the hip flexor. Hands can rest on the knee or down by your hips. Again, making sure that your knee is tractioning over the ankle on the front side. So you can drop into the hips, come out. Sometimes this can be a quite intense stretch. Just have a little play here. We'll breathe for a couple rounds. And on your next exhale, planting your hands either side of your right foot, hopping in on your left toes, curling in. Exhale, right foot comes back, and either from plank for more heat or drop down to your knees. Exhale, coming all the way down to the mat. Chaturanga. So toes facing down, hips pushing in, hands next to either side of your ribs, and just inhale your chest forward and up for cobra pose. And breathe. Exhale, coming all the way down, pushing up to your knees or to plank, and all the way back to downward facing dog. Walk that out if you still need to. Whew. Starting to get a bit warm. My toes are still freezing though. Right, now inhaling your left foot up, exhaling that knee back, squaring the shoulders, not like I just did. Stretch it out a bit more. Exhale, bring your knee as close to you can to your nose, and then plant the foot between either side. So you're going to get the back side of me, luckily for you now. So inhaling, we're planting our back foot out in a 45-degree angle. We've got heel to arch alignment, or wider if you need it in your hips. Hips are squaring to the side of your mat. Knees tractioning over your ankle. Hands can stay at your hips here. Otherwise, increase your lengthen, lost my breath a little bit. Lengthen your arms out. Gaze over the middle finger. And just breathe here for a moment. We'll take 3 breaths here. Really strong stance. Opening in the hips, opening the front side of the body out. Chest is sort of lifting up to the sky. Great, and on your next inhale, straightening that front leg, hopping in a little bit if you need to. Hands come to hips to start with, and we're gonna pop back again. So you want your right hip popping back. You can really feel the crease in your left, so making sure your knee's not locking, especially if you're hyperflexible. So keeping a micro bend in your knee. And then popping back and then reaching forward. And then dropping your hand down to either your ankle, the floor, a block. And then if you feel like you're ready, and then you can lift the right arm up to the sky as well. If it's too much, just keep your hand on your hips, that's fine. But I really want you to think about reaching and opening towards the sky rather than folding in. Sort of micro movements as well. And on your next inhale, coming all the way back up, goddess pose. So feet face out, knees drop in. Hands can come to prayer, or you can go to full goddess. So your elbows are at right angles out from each other. And we'll breathe here. Whoop. 5 breaths. Knees are not tractioning over the toes. Out to the sides. And breathe. Bounce it if you need to. One more breath. And exhale, reaching it up. Wow! Balance. Reach up. Gaze towards your hands. Exhale, come through. We're turning back to the front of the mat. Bend your left knee, plant the hands. Go or flow, so you can go into child's pose or come into your last vinyasa for the practice. So either plank or knees down if you're coming with me. And exhale all the way down to your mat. Forward touches, feet untuck. Inhale, chest up for cobra, elbows tucking into the sides. Exhale, pushing down. Inhale, come all the way back to down facing dog. If you want, walk those knees. It's our last downward dog. Really have a play and a stretch. If you commit to child's pose, please join us here. Inhale, your left foot forward. Plant it between your legs. Right foot comes forward. Forward fold and relax. You've done so well. You've woken up the day. You'll be ready to get moving. Inhale, flat back. Gazing forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Palms touch. Exhale, down through heart center. Tadasana. And just take a moment to breathe here. This is a morning practice, so we're just going to close from standing. You can sit cross-legged if you like. And just keep that energy, the prana flowing for our day. So just take a couple moments to breathe. And when you're ready, start to wake up that body, wiggle your toes and fingers. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Ahimsa, so much no harm. You did so much good. Your body will thank you for it, and thank yourself for being here. And I hope to see you next time. Subscribe down below and like this video if you enjoyed it. It's so awkward, I don't know what to do at the ends.